I ended last year raging against the horrors in the Middle East and the biased and deceptive media coverage and political debate. Sadly, war is still being waged and people are still dying and suffering, Israeli soldiers and people in Gaza. And now Australian aid has been suspended to UNRWA, thankfully. It's the United Nations aid organisation for the Palestinian territories, and it's always been a worry, always helped organisations that demonise Israel and support terrorism. And now it turns out that a dozen or more UNRWA staff, effectively UN staff, were actively involved in the October 7 terrorist atrocities. How sickening. Even the UN has been forced to act, sacking 12 staff. They shouldn't just be sacked, of course, they should be arrested. Still, tragically, the debate around the Middle East has not become any more factual, any more sober, or any more decent in recent months. I mean, think about how abhorrent it is that South Africa tried to run a genocide case against Israel, when Israel is actually defending itself against a terrorist organisation in Hamas that is committed to the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel. It's a topsy-turvy accusation, isn't it? Trying to support a bloodthirsty, murderous, genocidal organisation that triggered this war by murdering more than 1,000 innocent civilians, and doing this by accusing its victim nation of genocide. But this is more than an inversion of reality. It's more than just blatant hypocrisy. This is grotesque. This is ugly anti-Semitism dressed up as a humanitarian concern. We need to remember and believe what we know about the murder and rape and torture that we've borne witness to. We need to listen to the accounts of the hostages, no matter how distressing they are.
These are 4 of the remaining young Israeli women still in Hamas captivity. This horrifying video was taken on the very first day of the war. They have now been there for 100. Look at these 4 women's faces and think about what they have endured.
And remember, there are still 100 or more hostages in captivity, 114 days since the Hamas terrorist attack. And we know at least 28 of the hostages are already dead. Yet in this country, on our National Day, it was defiled by Palestinian flags and protesters mucking in with Indigenous activists. And they somehow claim that Gaza, run by Hamas, is the victim here. I've got one very clear message for all those who worry about innocent lives in Gaza. And let's be clear, we should all be vitally concerned about the loss of innocent lives in Gaza. No matter that the numbers are unknown and no matter that Hamas has created the situation, put innocent people's lives in danger, we all want the loss of innocent lives to stop immediately. But here's the thing. If that's what you want, then there's only one thing that your protests should call for. They should demand that Hamas lays down its arms and returns every single hostage being held now, before then surrendering its own leadership to Israel. That's the only way to win peace, to save innocent hostages and protect innocent Palestinians and Israeli lives too, now and into the future. Instead of putting pressure on Hamas, useful idiots around the world effectively protest in favour of the Hamas terrorists, and many of these protesters are completely ignorant of the facts. Listen to some of them exposed at the Sundance Film Festival by Noah Tishby.
Hi, so as it turned out, hate, anti-Semitism made its way to Sundance Film Festival, where people are calling for a ceasefire now, which is exactly what we had on October 6th before Hamas slaughtered all these Jews.
From the river to the sea, Palestine needs to be free from the occupation, which is illegal.
What's the river?
I forgot the river's name, but the sea is the Red Sea.
So where is the river and the sea that everybody's chanting about?
I think it's the Black Sea and the river on the other side of Gaza.
Okay, so it's the Black Sea and the river on the other side of Gaza.
the Palestinian genocide. It's just awful.
What about the hostages? Do you know about the hostages?
Unfortunately, I'm not that educated about that part.
Yeah, those hostages, hey? What pro-Palestinian protester would want to know or care about them? Nothing is more important than those hostages being freed and returned to their Israeli families. No one in politics or on the streets or in the media can pretend to be interested in peace unless that is what they are demanding.